thank you so much for inviting us here. We heard that there were 31 themes so far, and we were one that was invited. We are so honored. If there will be one invitation I would like to have, this was it. My name is Eija Pedersen. I work within environmental psychology at the Department of Architecture and Built Environment.
My name is Aneta Wierzbicka, and I'm from the Design Sciences and it's Ergonomics and Aerosol Technology. I'm aerosol physicist.
And today we are going to focus on two of the activities that came out of our theme. But first we need to say something about the theme, I guess. It was called Holistic Approach to Healthy Indoor Environments. It started in 2014, that is already 5 years ago. And Aneta and I, we didn't know each other before that. And actually, I didn't know anyone who was in this theme. Aneta, you took the initiative. How come?
Yeah. As I said, I'm aerosol physicist, and usually we look into the airborne particles and try to relate exposure to pollutants to health effects. And when I started to do measurements in indoor environments, of course, you know, I love particles, they are important, but then very quickly I realized that, you know, this is just one bit of a bigger puzzle to try to explain what people really experience in indoor environments. And I think that also I was getting slightly frustrated to see that many of us focus on a very strict discipline. When studies were done in indoor environments, you would easily see, okay, here we have airborne particles. Here we have a study focusing on ventilation. Here, moist problems. So I think that when you do this and you focus so much on the one aspect, you lose the broader picture because the reality, in fact, looks like that. So I also thought that it was really silly, as it was mentioned here before, to meet people from your own Lund University at international conferences and then find out, yeah, in fact, we are in the same, we are doing the research within the same field. So we started to talk.
Yeah, and then you found out that you can make a proposal to Pufendorf. You were the one that put people together, and
yeah, but on the very beginning, it was very quickly I realized that majority of the people who were really enthusiastic and really had the energy and wanted to do something within this field were pretty much at the same stage of the scientific career as me. So it was just couple of years after defending my PhD. So we didn't really have the highest H indexes. We didn't have the longest...
Problem, huh? Yeah.
We didn't have the longest list of publications. Of course, we had support from professors at our department, but we knew that they could not really allocate 1 day per week to be with us. They were extremely busy. So then it was like, do we stand a chance? So we basically asked for a meeting, and it was Sune and Sture and Eva meeting us, and it was me and Eugene who is sitting there, Emily, Stroh and Brigitta. We came and we said, well, listen, that's us. We have this idea. Do we stand a chance? Can we apply for Pufendorf theme? And it looked like you were very supportive, and you said, well, you liked the idea, and said, yeah, go for it. Like, you know, present it to us, and we'll see what happens. So that's what we did.
Yeah, so we had this positive view of Pufendorf already then, didn't we? But if you're going to study the indoor environment holistically, as you claim, what kind of expertise would you actually need for that?
Well, I think that we have a slide where we kind of, you know, at least listed the expertise that we gathered within this theme. And this is not a complete list, of course, but that's the expertise that we gathered.
Yeah, well, it's a start. And we got the theme, that's why we are here. Do you remember, Aneta, who we were in the beginning there? We were like animals in this kind of old-fashioned zoo, where they put the elephants in one cage and they put the polar bears in another one. But we were eager, everybody, to get on Noah's Ark, and we didn't know if we could find land on the other side.
Yeah, I do remember this was one of the ice-breaking exercises that we've done. Also, again, so important to get to know each other, to form this atmosphere that we can trust each other. No one being superior, nor superior discipline as such, forming equality. So yeah, one of them.
And you were actually the coordinator and team leader of this team. What did you think was a challenge with that?
I think that for me, I thought in this way that yes, okay, we were so happy to get the money. Yeah. Then we were coming here we were supposed to be here 1 day per week, but we are all so busy, and I was really afraid that if people lose interest, they will start disappearing and not coming to the meeting. So for me, the major thing was to make the meetings meaningful, to have some kind of structure, or at least to find out what would be beneficial for every single person in the theme, to really try to meet. I think that it's the easiest when everyone else realizes that there is something for me that I can gain and I can get out of it. To also to show that there is a strength in doing things together, that we could come up with so much better ideas if we work together.
But so what is that in practice? I mean, you were really successful as a team leader, but what is that?
Yeah, I think that it was also said here at the very beginning, but I think that also we were very careful, and in fact our meetings were very structured and well prepared. Every meeting had kind of some kind of aim. Of course, there was plenty of time for discussions. We were discussing our expertise. We discussed our ideas about and problems within the area, but there was always a focus. And also, we were trying to be as democratic as possible, so everyone was putting forward ideas, what they consider important and what they would like to work with. So what we've done after some time, after talking and discussing things, everyone was putting forward an idea of a topic area that they would like to work with or considered interesting to go deeper and to find out more about it. And then, by voting, basically, we identified certain areas which gathered the major interest or the most of the interest. And we've done the same in the same way. We've done focus groups. So there were groups which were focusing on specific topics, specific areas. And of course, it was also important to report back to everyone. But still, it was discussion, and it was focused groups.
But it is this thing that the others here already reported. You don't have to deliver anything. What do you think about that, Aneta? I know you now, but
yeah, the thing I have to say, the first meeting that we had, and we were so happy, and then Sune and Sture came and say, it's like, yeah, but you don't have to do anything. I mean, you don't have to deliver anything. We don't expect anything from you. And I thought I'm going to have a heart attack. I was saying, right, I'm supposed to coordinate these people, and how am I going to motivate them to do something? To really that it will bring value. But in fact, I think that it was, I realize now that you knew exactly what you were doing, and it did make the magic. I think that all people at the university are extremely ambitious. Give them space, give them time, and also make them feel appreciated, and they will do amazing things. So I think that's. Now I know it was the right way, but yeah. I was really stressed.
So some things did come out from these focus groups, wasn't it? Yeah?
Absolutely, absolutely. So these are some of the topics. So as you can see, we've gathered and discussing nocebo or placebo effect in indoor environments, like, you know, on our expectations of the indoor air quality, on how we develop symptoms or how we perceive indoor environments, for example.
Yeah, so the one in the bottom here, interaction between people, energy, and indoor environment, that actually went into a proposal or two proposals.
Yeah.
Because all of these were transferred into proposals, were they not?
Yes, in fact, also that was another thing that happened, that very quickly we realized that we are all searching for funding. We want to do this type of research. And so we realized very quickly that we want to focus our efforts into proposal writing. So by the end of the theme in May 2015, we've submitted, in fact, seven proposals of the multidisciplinary nature. And some of them were successful. And, well, you know, if all successful, we would have gotten like 28 million or something, but we still got quite a lot. And in fact, one of the biggest projects that got funded, it's you, Aya, who you coordinate.
It just happened that I was the first name on two of these proposals, and those two were granted from Energimyndigheten and from Formas, and that was the interaction between people, energy, and indoor environment. So this project started exactly 2 years after we started the Pufendorf project. It's a 4-year project, so we have done 3 years out of 4 now. It has a budget of around 20 million with the in-kind from our industrial partners, and it's takes place at Linnero here in Lund. We are investigating the indoor environments in these dwellings before and after renovation. And it's an intervention study, you can say.
So it's 3 years within the 4-year project. So how do you find it so far? How is it to work with the empirical data in this transdisciplinary
It's really
project?
one thing to sit here in Pufendorf and talk. And we all the time we said, couldn't we just we would be so happy if we could do a study where we could measure all these parameters that we think interact with each other. And now we got the money to do exactly that. And there was no problem to get our team members to do measurements. Everybody was so eager to go into these apartments and measure everything that they could measure. And the idea was then to analyze this together. There are 11 senior researchers and half a PhD in this project. There were some challenges, though. One thing is that I, who come from environmental psychology, I couldn't imagine that you can measure, for example, temperature in so many different ways. I thought these engineers as one group. Of course, they are not one group. They come from different parts of engineering and building physics, so they had totally different ideas of how you measure temperature. So that was the challenge for me as a project leader. On the other hand, there was also people who never had worked with human subjects, with the people who lived in these apartments. We were interviewing them, measuring their behavior. So they had never written an ethical approval, for example. So I had to teach them how to do that, and that you always have to follow all the things that the ethical board said, even if you don't think it makes sense. So that was one challenge, actually. Another thing is that most of the researchers in the Peire project comes from the Pufendorf teams, know each other, so we can initially solve difficulties. But then, of course, people move. Hector moved to the industry. He's working at Ericsson now. We have to take someone new in. And even though they work well together with us, they haven't really been trained in the Pufendorf spirit. So you sort of have to take them and tell them how to act. They are often very used in what we call multidisciplinary work, where you look at the same phenomena from different aspects, from your expertise. When Sweden entered the European Union, we all changed our way to write the proposals. We learned there is something like work packages. There's a work package leader, and the work package will deliver something. So that's how we started to think. And we even write our Swedish proposals that way. So if you come from somewhere else and were not fostered into this Pufendorf spirit, then you think, well, I go there and I do my little piece of cake, and I deliver what I'm supposed to deliver. It's sort of a multi-discipline way of thinking of things. But during these 5 years since we met the first time, we have developed a more transdisciplinary view. And that's, we think, to look at this healthy indoor environments, the transdisciplinarity is really important. And it has two aspects. It has this theory building. We try to come up with new theories that involves the theories that we come from. But in practice, it has also another thing that happens. You cannot just sit there in your little piece of cake and deliver something. You have to take responsibility for the whole. So we are also working off what we call collective leadership, where everybody is taking responsibility for the whole project. And I find that challenging, but also very interesting.
Will there be a continuation of PEIRE project?
Not exactly. It's not like we are going to do another 4 years or so. But there are proposals written, new groups. It's not my project. That's really important to remember. It's part of an array, a cascade of projects and thinking that came out. And now we are so lucky that we actually have an umbrella for this, the Center for Healthy Indoor Environments, and you are the director of that center.
Yeah. The thing is that after the Pufendorf theme, we kept on meeting each other, we kept on developing ideas, writing proposals together, arranging seminars, and in fact we wanted to have a bit more formalized version of our existence. So that's why we came up with this idea of forming a center, and LTH, in fact, helped us with some funding on the way. So now we are formally a center, and our mission is to understand, explain, and improve indoor environments and provide healthy conditions for people. But the main ideas are exactly the same as in Pufendorf. We want to bridge different disciplines. We want to also make a communication platform, but also to exchange knowledge and experience, not only within the academia, but we are also towards the communication and exchange of ideas with people from outside of the academia, municipalities, industrial partners, authorities.
Yeah, we have, so with this center, we have a big network, and
yes,
we support each other. We collaborate in many different ways. We go to conferences. I've been to conferences that I never would have gone if you wouldn't have brought me there. And it's so interesting to go to conference within another discipline. You learn a lot from that. But is it actually possible to summarize what came out of the Pufendorf project?
I think we were specifically asked not to do it, and we are not supposed to give you the lists and the projects and the funds and the publications that we've done. But I think that, you know, that the main thing is that it did foster some of the projects that we are actually working on. So we obtained funding, and we continue in this way. We still have our network. We work together. We arrange seminars.
Yes.
So I think that this is very important, and also the seminars that we arrange. In fact, I don't know, maybe it's just a matter that we are dealing with indoor environments, and it's kind of easy to relate to for everyone. So we gather really a large audience, and not only from academia, but also from the, as I mentioned earlier, municipalities, industry, and authorities. So very often the seminars that we arrange gather more than 100 participants, and we have very lively discussions and really good exchange of the ideas.
Yeah, I feel they're really seeking our knowledge, aren't
Yes,
they? Asking us. But I think for myself, it's more interesting to know, how did the Pufendorf theme affect you personally, Aneta?
Well, apart from having the chance of working with fantastic people, also leading a group, dynamic group of very creative individuals, I also think that creating the personal and professional bonds and increasing the network of contacts probably is one of the most important things. What about you, Aya?
Well, yeah, I was thinking about that. This is actually the third university, or actually the fourth, but the third that I actually worked and was employed. So I have gathered a lot of experience from different universities, from different research groups, but there wasn't really a place where I could use my experience. It was experience from different ways to work with methods, theories, and also how you work in groups. But when I came to Pufendorf, this was the place to land for me, to actually use these rather many years of experience. And I'm so happy I could do that, because that's also a little bit frustration to have experience but not being able to
I'm
use
thinking
it.
about one more thing, in fact, as well. I'm just thinking that for me personally, in fact, when working with so many specialists from different disciplines, in a way, it helped me to formulate my own research questions in a way that they are maybe a bit more approachable to others from other disciplines. Because you learn how you have to explain the details of your knowledge to the others who are totally not familiar with what you are doing.
Yeah, but I know a little bit more about particles now. Don't you think so?
I hope.
Yeah, good. Okay. So I would say, Annette, that it's for others to judge our Pufendorf theme, it was successful or not. But we are sure busy, and I know everybody from our theme, Christian and Yu Ying is sitting here, are really busy. So it just, something came out of it. I mean, we have so much to do nowadays, don't
Absolutely.
we? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because there is some, people mentioned this before, and now we are sitting in this beautiful room. There is something with this building, the people who work here, and the atmosphere that does something to you, isn't it, Aneta?
Yeah, I think that there are many different and many special things about the Pufendorf Institute for Advanced Studies. It's not only the interior, and I think that also the subtle, fresh flowers, decorations which appear here and there. But I think that it's also this kind of sense of freedom, no expectations, no demands. But also, I think that the word oasis has been used before, but I think that it describes it really, really well. I think that for us it was also a hiding place, I dare to say, hiding place for our hectic days at our departments, and kind of luxury of having the time to sit, to discuss, to have the time for thinking and doing other things. So it is very special in many different ways. So I think on behalf of at least members of our theme, we would like to say thank you very much for first of all having this vision and this idea and gathering the funding and creating a Pufendorf Institute to initiate multidisciplinary studies and making projects like ours possible. But also we hope that this kind of possibility will be given to other groups, and this kind of vision and idea will continue for many years to come.
So we can conclude that this is really a healthy indoor environment. Can we do that? Yes. And we just like to say happy birthday to the Pufendorf Institute. And we wish you a very long and very healthy life. Happy birthday. Yes.
Thank you so much, Eija and Aneta. And I'm sure that the audience believe that we have only picked out the themes that are really, really enthusiastic. Well, all three of you were enthusiastic, but I promise we could have picked so many more out of the 31, and they would have been equally inspired by the year. I can see that you nod your head over there in the corner. Yeah, the floor is free. There are a number of things that you could pick up on in these presentations, and you are welcome to do so. Yes.
I like your focus on giving the relief from pressure, and I fully support it from my experience from being here in a theme. Now I'm also a member of the board of Pufendorf, making the final formal decision of which themes to fund. Luckily we have so good support from the leadership here that we get an almost ready-made proposal. Still, what should we look for in the themes, in the ideas, in the approach to assess for coming themes, which really have the potential to validate this space and chance to take a step back and come out from the vicious publish and perish cycles? So what's on the top of your mind? And it's also a question to the other two themes. What should you look for?
I guess that you definitely have your criteria already, but I think that everyone looks for novelty, for something different, something that hasn't been explored earlier. But at least for us, extremely important thing was that maybe the length of the publications and the H indexes, maybe this doesn't have to be the major part of it. I think that also probably the ideas and the possibility of gathering people from different disciplines could be very important.
I'm thinking about one thing too. If you cannot write a proposal together, could you work together for several months? I mean, it's something about being serious when you write the proposal, even though you don't have such long CVs, that you spend time on it and are working really in the group with these proposals. Don't you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah. There is not a thing like you can just hang on and don't contribute when it comes to the proposal. Even maybe.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of, proposal can tell you really a lot what how serious people are. But also, I'm just thinking that sometimes writing proposal is also a skill that you have to learn and develop after some time. But I think that idea and novelty, I think.
Both of the themes that we're representing are not particularly sort of practical or applied or whatever in nature, and I think it's nice to support both types. Because I know that some of the other things, the themes like this one or the e-health one, which I think was running at the same time as ours, you know, that's stuff that could be really useful for society. It can have really concrete outputs, so that's not bad. But I don't think you want to only support that type of interdisciplinary research. You want to also support things that are sort of, yeah, more wild and crazy, or just about ideas. And so I think that you should keep that up.
Yeah, I also have a question to all of you, or actually two questions. One is the length of the theme. It's 1 year. Is that a good length? Is it too short? Is it too long? Or is it a good
If
timing?
I can answer it, you know, it passes so quickly. I mean, you know, it goes like this, and it's like, oh, it's the end. But on the other hand, I think that this is the time when you really can get to certain conclusions. That there is time to come up with or clarify the ideas or discuss things.